Yeah, I mean, it's the question I think Paul described pretty well earlier about, you know, broader. I think Charest can take a lot of votes from Trudeau, even some from the NDP, but loses 12% of the decided conservative vote to the People's Party, and maybe has a less mobilized base. So yeah, that's a hard question to answer. I think with general liberal fatigue and Trudeau in office, I think Charest has a better chance of winning the election. But I think Stephen Harper, Ian Brody are pretty shrewd people. Poilievre is pretty shrewd, and
Yeah.
they think they see a path, sort of a Harper-like path to victory. And it's just a question of Poilievre being able to keep the Liberals on their back foot, which is normally not hard to do when A, that you've been in power for 10 years, and B, you're an effective parliamentary opposition leader, which I think Poilievre would be. And then I guess there are the intangibles, unpredictable variables about, does the economy get better between now and the next election, or does it get worse? That's that could be the deciding factor.
Yeah, and I think entering into this mix will be, even though I said earlier I didn't think policy was the key to the leadership race, at a certain point in time in politics, policy does emerge as a defining issue. And if you actually look at I wouldn't count I think the Liberals, even if Trudeau does not decide to resign and to step down as leader, which a lot of people are talking about, that he won't run another election. That's an ongoing discussion. He might be personally fatigued with it. I don't know. But the policies that the Liberals have brought in their time in office are actually quite impressive. The economic response to the COVID pandemic we should be talking about it more, because at the level of government intervention, I think it was brilliant, actually. Mm-hmm. The central bank, it took on quantitative easing. We can talk about that at another point, but basically money creation in a way that it didn't do during the Great Recession. The big economies did, Canada didn't, but this time it did, pushing a whole lot of money into the economy in a way, and then captured by the government through things like the CERB program and the support for small businesses. If that intervention had not happened at that scale, the recession that we would have encountered in 2020 would have been awe-inspiring and terrible. That intervention, which was very carefully done, and I think very well done, it's being poo-pooed by the conservatives all over the place. Oh, look how big the deficit and the debt has gotten. Well, sure, there is a big deficit and a big debt. What was the alternative in 2020? Would you really want the government to do nothing while the economy went off the cliff? And it went off the cliff. Yeah. That's number one. Number two, in retrospect, the response to the vaccines was brilliant. Buying up massive quantities of vaccine promises from different, meaning that Canada was able to actually vaccinate its population at a much faster rate than many of major countries. Then the deal with the NDP, it's not a coalition, it's an agreement with the NDP to stay in office for a while, looks like it will introduce, as a result of that deal, elements of national pharmacare, elements of dental care. These are wonderful programs. This is a big, if this happens, it's a big expansion of the social safety of the welfare state. We sometimes call the welfare state. It's not really a good term. The social services state, let's call it that. And there's already been the agreement with multiple provinces, I think all provinces now, on childcare, affordable childcare. These are huge policy changes. It's a transformational government, and at a certain point, highlighting those achievements in a responsible and intelligent and open way can lead to a It doesn't necessarily lead to political majorities, big majorities. Lester Pearson was a transformational prime minister and never had a majority government. He always did it as a minority. But it's not something to be sneezed at.